Hey guys, welcome to Aussie Airsoft. Today we are going to try and mount this Optic onto this KWC Uzi Airsoft gun. Now please realise that anything that you do here is at your own risk. This is a pretty easy install, but there's always a risk of damaging your gun, so please make sure you know what you're doing before you jump in and do it. Now, the one thing that's special about this video is that you're not going to have to take out a small mortgage to put an Optic on your Uzi. I've seen a lot of kits out there to do that. Unfortunately, they're very expensive. This one is only going to cost you about 20 bucks. We're going to use one of these cheap pistol Optic kits or rail kits, and we actually don't even need this main bit here. That can go away. All we want is the small side rail. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, the first thing you're going to want to do is remove your top plate here. Now this plate also is the charging handle, so remove that completely. Yeah, there we go. Always had trouble with mine. So this is what we end up with. Alright, now we can stick the gun to the side, we don't need that for the moment. Now I got this idea while playing Rainbow Six Siege, and I was looking at how they were mounting their optics, and I came up with this idea, and I was like, hey, I've got some spare pieces kicking around the house, so as most airsofters do, so I decided to give it a go. Alright, so inside here, I'll show it to both cameras, I'm going to take out that screw. You just need a flathead screwdriver. Really simple. Oh, before you do that, what you want to do is take out this spring. That spring will fly around. It almost got me in the eye the first time I did this, so just watch yourself on that one. So you're going to take out that screw. Really simple. Out she comes. Like that. And you can just lift. Oop. If you unscrew it all the way. There we go. And that just lifts off. You can set that to the side. So now you've got this little plate here, sits on top, and you've got this little piece that goes underneath. This basically holds the spring. Okay, so what we're going to do, really simple. You'll see there's a little, where's my camera? There it is. That little thing there, that little bit at the top there. Make sure that goes back in that small hole. Alright, and it goes underneath. So you put that underneath. Like so. Okay, so what I forgot to mention is that these little screws, even though they're like, the thread is about the same length, I found. This is the one that came from the charging handle. About the same length, about the same thread size. I did find that mine started to work its way out. Now the problem with that is if you decide to glue your rail in place or anything like that, you're not going to be, I mean, you're going to have to take your Optic off every time you want to tighten this up, and every oh, excuse me, every time you want to every time you need to tighten this, you need to take your Optic off. So I'm going to use a bit of Teflon tape. The Teflon tape should theoretically make the thread lock a little bit better, and shouldn't have to ever undo it to take off your Optic to tighten it up. So take a little bit of this off. Now I did all this a few moments ago. Problem is, my camera stopped recording, so I have to do it all over again. Sorry guys. Alright. So we cut that off. Yeah, that's a bit long. Alright, more off. Like so. There we go. I remember to wrap this with the thread. So. Oh, sorry, against the thread is what I meant to say. And so you wrap it around. And Teflon tape is great. Alright, so you ended up with something looking like oops, like this. Alright, and then you put your little bit back in place. Remember, screw hole goes in the big hole. I showed you earlier on where it came out, and the little hole, or the little notch goes into the little hole. And then all you need to do is take the rail, put this in place, and screw it in. Unfortunately, I did that earlier. Hopefully, it came out in the other camera, so I can show you how I did that. And once that's screwed in place, just give your rail a little adjustment and heat to be lined up, like so. Give it one final little lockdown. So, in doing that, you want to pinch the rail down and give it a quite tighten. There we go. And then we go back onto the spring. So, as you can see there, a little hook and a little ring. The hook goes on the front of the plate with, the easiest way to remember, with the hook on the plate. The hook on the spring goes on the hook on the plate. And then the ring end goes into the little notch that's on your charging handle. So I always put the hook in first. It's much easier that way, I found. Hook in first, there we go. And then we put it over, and voila! We have a rail or a charging handle. Alright. So next thing we do is we put the plate back on. Very simple. If you've owned an Aussie and you've been cleaning it like you should be, then you should know how to do this. I find a screwdriver is the easiest way to do this. To get that little tab back over the metal. Ugh. There we go. Oh, it's on. Alright, and all we need to do now is mount your optic, whatever one you've chosen. Now remember, when you choose your optic for this, the one thing you want to remember is that you will be pulling on it. I've gone for a red dot, they're not super accurate. Cheap little dude. So all we need to do is put him in place and tighten him up. Oh, that's what I did last time. There we go. So, put your optic on, how you're going to put it on. You guys should all know how to do that yourselves if you've been playing Airsoft or whatever for a bit. Clearly I don't know how to do it. There we go. Get back on there. Now the one thing you're going to find, like I said, it's not accurate. Why is that? It's because this plate does move. Alright? It does have a bit of play in it. So it's not going to be perfect. But it'll do the trick. Oh, I need to take that off safety. Now you have an optic on your Aussie. So, hope you found that helpful. I mean, for you guys in Canada, like me, it's very hard to get the parts to do that because they're all made in America and they refuse to import anything up here, export anything up here. So, yeah, it's the easiest, cheapest way I found to do it. Obviously, feel free to experiment, do your own thing. I really encourage that, and yeah, hopefully I'll come up with more videos soon on how to do extra things to the Aussie, because I want to make this mediocre platform a really good platform. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed, and I hope I helped you